You know, Richard, people make mistakes, but he said these specific words, that mayor, international terrorism attack, without knowing anything that was going on. Is there room now for the Democrat Party in Florida, for anybody in your party to say something to this mayor? He needs to apologize, perhaps. What's your take?
Well, he did walk it back, as your own correspondent noted. Look, you can't totally blame the mayor's initial reaction, because we all saw what happened in Charlottesville. We all saw the dozens of incidents of protesters getting mowed into after George Floyd. And we saw Governor DeSantis sign a bill that basically gave immunity for drivers driving into protesters in the street. And maybe the mayor actually knew that the Democrats in Congress... Hold on. What?
Oh, go ahead.
The Democrats in Congress are trying to pass...
that line and then...
Democrats in Congress are trying to pass the Equality Act, and they're being blocked by their friends across the aisle. Look, if we're talking about apologies and facts, I'm waiting for proponents, and this mayor walked it back, unlike every supporter of Donald Trump who keeps insisting that the election was stolen, or that on January 6th there was hugging and kissing rather than killing and maiming. I'm waiting for that.
It always goes back to Donald Trump for you, Richard.
Because we're not going to do the whataboutism. We want to stay on this topic if we can. But I am curious, Mercedes, what do you think about Richard connecting this in all the ways that he did to technically hate crimes? Because that's kind of what I hear you saying, without knowing the facts.
Look, I think, you know, obviously there is a sensitivity here within the United States with any of the hate crimes that have occurred in the different states. But we have to remember that part of the responsibility of our leaders is to ensure that we get the facts before jumping to conclusions. And so I think for this mayor in particular, you know, he should apologize. He should say, I didn't get it right. I should have gone out with my, with the sheriff and explained the situation. Because when you talk about terrorism, it creates an enormous amount of fear for anyone in the area, because they're like, well, what's going on here? Do we have terrorists in our community? And so I think there is a sense of the need for these leaders to be responsible when it comes to ensuring that they get their facts straight before making these comments.
Yeah. Well, look, when you say international terrorism attack, too, I mean, I'm just hoping that what this mayor wasn't intending to do was just layer in all of the wokeness that he possibly could. I mean, are we talking about attacks on the LGBT? Or is he trying to invoke race into the conversation? Culture, ethnicity, international? Or where are they coming from? I mean, he was going everywhere. He was doing just vocal gymnastics with that. But, Richard, you say he's addressed it, he's walked it back. Nothing does the job like a true apology when you make such a high-level mistake. Politically, are we in a place now where that just doesn't even exist anymore?
Yes, of course, he should apologize for calling us a terrorist attack. And again, as your reporter noted, he did say it was not. And I'm just waiting for everybody who's so huffy about this instance to say it's shameful of Donald Trump, call it what you will, to say the election was stolen. That is a threat to democracy more than any accusation about international terrorism.
To do with this conversation, Richard. Yeah, it's just so typical of Richard. This is the most typical, expected type of interview with you, Richard. Every time it's always about Donald Trump. I mean, we are talking about an incident that happened down in Florida regarding a terrorist attack. That has nothing to do with Donald Trump.
We're talking about truth.
But your obsession and your trust derangement syndrome continues, Richard, along with your fellow Democrats.
We're talking about observing the truth.
That's it.
I appreciate you both. The Faulkner Focus, thank you for watching. Outnumbered is after the commercial.